Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Woo, woo, woo. If anybody came here from episode 49 of the Degenerates podcast wondering why is it so short?
Why is it so
because
short?
Audacity's stupid. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's all. Okay. That's all. Now that we're done explaining that, are you ready?
We're done explaining that. yeah, I'm ready.
Are you done? Are you ready for more answers?
Yes.
What will tell us about all the what you think of all the answers we've got so far?
Oh God. They're not connecting for me. I don't know what it is, but so there's a bunch of stuff. They solved the epitaph again.
Yep.
And they were like, "Hey, this is how the epitaph is solved." Then
They
Balor did another thing where he was like, "Grandfather could still be alive," and then he fucking jumped out a window.
Yeah, he jumped out the window.
Like a fucking insane bastard.
And that's who he locked the window behind him.
And, God, what else? See, these don't feel like answers to me. I don't know why. They just don't feel... They feel more like just more mystery just piled on.
What? No, these are answers.
Yeah.
That's
So
why they're in. That's why they're in the one that says Umineko answers. The other ones were the questions.
Yes. So essentially, we got. There's just a lot of fucking stuff right now. I just can't fucking remember it all. All I remember is Balor jumping out a window, and that's it. That's all I remember. And
Okay.
Beatrice is like dead,
Well, Beatrice is
like in a state
in a state of just
suspended
not
in
talking.
animation.
Yeah. In the Golden Land, the quiet rain just kept on falling. Well, there she is right there.
Hey.
In the arbor sat the sad witch whose eyes had lost their glint in Battler.
And Balor.
Virgilia could also be seen there. She sat next to Beato, knitting quietly.
Was she grandma?
Well, she's Kumasawa.
Yeah. Yes. Kumasawa's the oldest one?
Yeah, Kumasawa. You remember Kumasawa.
No.
What?
Nope.
What do you mean?
No, I remember Kumasawa. I don't remember. She's the macro loving.
Okay,
person.
good. You were scaring me there. Like, you can't even remember Kumasawa.
I don't fucking remember anything. Oh God, I'm losing my memory.
Lambda Delta's game had passed the climax of the first twilight, and they were taking a short break.
Ah, that's nice.
Gazing out at the golden rose garden soaked with rain, Battler considered the present, what was to come, and what had happened so far. To Battler, the act of thinking was itself a battler. Even with the game stopped and Beato unable to speak, he could still keep on fighting. Virgilia suddenly stopped her knitting. Battler noticed it too, because though none should have been able to visit this rose garden, she had noticed a silhouette approaching.
What the fuck?
That's unusual. Not many people are capable of reaching this place.
It's her.
This isn't Lambda Delta, is it?
Ah.
Oh, it's, oh
This
god
person.
damn it. This person, Nox. That silhouette, which walked amidst the quietly falling rain without so much as an umbrella, was Delanor. That was a spectacular garden maze, a splendid way to enjoy the roses.
Why are you here?
It's been some time, Mrs. Beatrice.
Mrs.?
No, wait, now it's Mrs. Virgilia, is it not? Long time no see, Delanor. Come over here. We aren't ones to leave a guest out in the way,
Get away.
Don't worry, she hasn't come to fight.
Do you know her?
She's one of my old friends from heaven. It really takes me back. That it does. Mrs. Virgilia possesses a deep knowledge in heavenly studies. I have often argued with her over interpretations. Ho ho ho. My many intellectual adventures with you were quite enjoyable. I'd like to do it again sometime. Yes, let's do it again sometime. I'd love to fight with you again. They used the word fight, but it didn't sound like they meant anything unpleasant by it. It sounded like something old chess rivals would say to each other. Unlike Beato, it seems Virgilia always behaved properly and courteously, so she had many friends in various other worlds, including both heaven and the demon world. Surprisingly, Delanor was one of them. Delanor, who had crossed swords, is Battler.
Delanor, who had crossed swords with me just a short while ago. Dr. Head like someone taking shelter from a sudden rain and sadness, see Virgilia pointed out like a guest.
Is there any type of black tea you would prefer? Anything. Any tea you make is superb. Then how about some Darjeeling? Battler, Beato, would you like some more?
Yeah, Beato and I would like a refill, right? Beatrice just comes to life.
Yes! As usual, Beato didn't answer, but if you quietly gave her a cup, she would sip it from time to time. There was still some black tea left in that cup, but it had already chilled, so Battler asked for a refill for Beato as well. I have heard the rumors. How pitiable that Beatrice, the endless witch famous for her cruelty, has been reduced to this.
She's no longer participating in the game. Lambda Delta is the one controlling the Beato that's on the game board.
I know. However, she is the original master of this world, and you are the proper guest invited by that master. That is why I've come to pay my respects.
On the game board, Beato and I met Delanor. But those were the game pieces of those witches. They weren't Beato and me ourselves.
Is that why you went out of your way to greet Battler and Beato here? I see you're as conscientious as ever. That is my way of doing things. Greetings, Mr. Battler. I am Delanor A. Knox. We play opposing roles, but it is a pleasure to meet you.
Sure, I'm sheer me at Battler. Pleased to meet you.
Greetings, Miss Beatrice. I am Delanor A. Knox.
Beato, she's saying hi. She says welcome. No, she didn't. Don't speak for her, Battler.
Thank you very much, Miss Beatrice. The witch and the Inquisitor of Heresy, whose job it was to hunt witches, greeted each other around a tea table surrounded by the aroma of black tea. It was a strange sight. Virgilia made gold butterflies sprout from the palms of her hands and transformed them into a teapot and a can of tea leaves. It was a very witch-like way to make tea. Of course, she actually was a witch, so that scene wasn't particularly bizarre in itself. Though I
was a bit concerned about whether Delanor, an Inquisitor of Heresy, could watch such a spectacle.
Do not worry. I am not so boorish as to complain about how my tea is served.
Even though the tea's being made with magic?
There is a tea set hiding in the shadows, and Mrs. Virgilia is making us tea with it in secret. We interpret or judge that it was made with magic, and it is written as such in the tale. That interpretation is allowed by Nox's ninth. Oh my, I do believe the interpretation of the ninth is such a delicate problem that is viewed as a taboo, even in the Great Court, even though it's just a personal opinion. If it became known that the head Inquisitor of Heresy said such a thing, you might be sacked. No matter what interpretation I record it with, there are no lies in the taste of your tea. Therefore, I do not worry about how it was prepared.
Aha.
Probably still bad.
Yeah, though she looked cold, she was a surprisingly tactful person. If Delano were to deny that the black tea had been prepared with magic, this magic would surely be crushed in an instant. However, the possibility had been presented that a tea set existed and had been used to make the tea normally. So the fact that Virgilia made tea was, in the end, undisputed.
What is Nox's ninth?
I don't know.
I'll look it up. I'm gonna look up Nox's ninth because they were just talking about it and they didn't even say anything. Or Nox's rules.
Fucking rules, dude.
Or Nox's commandments, I guess.
Commandments.
Okay. Number 9. The stupid friend of the detective, the Watson, must not conceal any thoughts which pass through his mind. His intelligence must be slightly, but very slightly below that of the average reader.
What the fuck? Wait a second. So it's Ballard? That's the interpretation?
Well, I think that, because of that rule, it means that that a Watson could interpret something as happening in a certain way when it didn't happen in that way, but the reader would read that. I guess that's what she means, or he means. Is it a boy or a girl?
Looks like a girl.
Yeah, but the name, it sounds, I don't know. Probably a girl.
I think it's a girl.
Yeah. Magic that hides the result in darkness is evil. I will not permit it. However, magic that enshrouds the process is not necessarily evil. My foe is evil itself, not magic.
I see. The important thing is that you're being served some tea. So it's just common courtesy to avoid complaining about how it was made. That's right. When someone makes tea for you, it's common courtesy to be grateful. There's nothing elegant about pushing your way into the kitchen and criticizing how they brew it. You use a teapot instead of a bibbly-wop. What the fuck?
What's George doing here?
What, George?
George is dead. You don't invite your guests into the kitchen, and when you set the table, you should adorn it beautifully in the spirit of hospitality. Here you go. Careful, it's hot.
Fucking spills all over. So, my God!
Thank you. I would like some sugar and milk. You still can't drink it straight? I'm a kid. It must be sweet.
So then, is magic a gentle lie?
The word lie makes it sound bad. The word embellishment is probably more fitting. When giving a child candy, you can take a crumpled up one out of your pocket, or you can use some clever sleight of hand to take the candy out. The impression given by each method varies greatly.
Well, yeah, it'd look cooler if you took it out with a little magic trick.
Wrong! There's meaning in the fact that the result, giving them candy, has been adorned to be even more beautiful and fun. Think of when you give Maria candy. There's a huge difference between taking it out of your pocket to give it to her than slipping into her pocket and saying a fairy gave it to her for being such a good girl. In my opinion, it would be boorish to then question everyone about their alibis and pinpoint who it was that slipped it into her pocket. The important thing is the result, that the girl received the candy and rejoiced, and it is significant that it was embellished in a way that made her rejoice.
That's surprising. When you showed up, I got the feeling you'd deny anything that went by the name of magic.
That is how I act in my capacity as an Inquisitor of Heresy. It is my job, however, when I am away from my job, I don't enjoy being quite so cold-hearted.
So you say professional feelings aside when on duty. Personal feelings. You do it well.
As an Inquisitor of Heresy, hunting witches is my job. However, I personally find witches pitiable. Despite this, I carry out judgment mercilessly as an Inquisitor. In the end, that doesn't change the fact that I sentence witches to death. In the end, my pity is nothing more than a useless embellishment. Whether I have it or not, nothing changes, so it would be better if I didn't. That's not true. Even if the ends are the same, what's in your heart makes a big difference. Your mother's cookies are clearly more delicious than those made by a good pastry shop. That's because you know that they were made with heart.
That's right, even if the result looks the same. Whether or not there's a warmth behind the feelings of whoever gave it to you makes a big difference.
Is that so? Whether I have a heart or not is completely meaningless.
Delanora's gaze fell to her cup a little sadly. Then she died. That's not true. After hearing all this, I've changed my view of you a bit, and that's why I'm certain the heart isn't meaningless.
Though Virgilio was a little surprised to hear the words she should have said coming from Battler's mouth. After all, understanding the heart is the first step towards finding the essence of magic. By now, perhaps Battler has unconsciously started to understand, bit by bit, the essence of Beato, the essence of witches, and the very first essence of all. Magic.
Whoa!
Whether you want to become a witch or vanquish them, the very first step is learning about magic. Virgilia was sure that she'd felt this faint change within Battler. As for that last fight, thank you very much. I'm grateful for the mercy you showed me at the very end.
That me wasn't me. Lambda Delta was controlling you. I joined in on the 5th game partway through. I still haven't participated at this point in time. So until I do join in, the piece of me is probably being controlled by Burncastle and Lambda Delta. Just what
Probably
kind of...
Burncastle, because Burncastle is Battler's Burncastle's piece on the board, because she's fighting against the witches, to deny witches, even though she is a witch. So they're both witches.
Yeah. Wait, what the fuck? Huh. Just what kind of whim is guiding them? Trying to make it look all cool. They made me look like some kind of knight coming to save Beato.
Lady Lambda Delta wants both witches and humans to be in balance, resulting in a draw. With Erica's appearance, the scales tipped strongly in the favor of the human side, so she manipulated the tale in a way that supports Beato. I am aware of that. However, pieces cannot do things that are impossible for them, and they specialize in actions appropriate to their original personality. Therefore, that was certainly something that Battler, was capable of. That is why I am grateful to you.
It feels a bit weird to be praised when I didn't actually do anything. After the game continues a bit more, I'll probably regain control of my piece. Not sure I'll be able to go easy on you then.
It's the same with me. The next time we cross swords, I won't hold back.
Bring it on, I'll be your opponent. Come at me with all you've got.
I promise, with everything I've got.
Flanor, huh? I thought she was an emotionless killer doll without a heart. But maybe she actually is pretty approachable.
That's not what I got from this conversation.
She's still emotionless?
Yep.
Yeah. Though of course neither of us will show any mercy when fighting on the game board. For a while we gained at the rain-drenched rose garden as we quietly enjoyed our tea. Good tea.
There's one thing I must apologize for.
With a sudden sigh, Delandra muttered something. What is it? If it's about that fight a short while ago, it's already over. We both fought with everything we had. The outcome was just the luck of the draw.
No, it wasn't luck of the draw. I couldn't just let it be, so I came here to apologize.
What are you talking about?
You're saying you threw the match, aren't you?
What? Virgilia spoke softly without hesitating in her knitting.
That is correct, Mr. Battler.
That mistress really awkward. Just Battler works fine.
Battler, I apologize. We did not give it everything we had. I know. Kinzo is dead at the starting time for all games. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, why doesn't she just say that in red? Beato hath already spoken that truth. In that battle, Battler could only have achieved a draw at best. He most certainly had no chance at all of winning.
You're right. If you just say that, the whole fight's already over. Why didn't you use that red? Don't tell me it was because of a stalemate or something like that.
Nox is second. It is forbidden for supernatural agencies to be employed as a detective technique. We cannot use that red truth directly. However, I gave Cornelia, who was protecting the window, the red truth that the window was never opened after it started raining.
Boom. That's checkmate. Why didn't that girl use that trump card? Wait, what girl? Oh,
Her.
that girl. Alright.
This is, allow me to speak. There is no way to defeat my red. Know that your wish will not be granted.
Though she fought calmly up until that point, she quickly got flustered when I dashed forwards. I thought she'd be frightened by my sudden attack, but the truth was different. Even though she held a trump card that could completely repel me, she suddenly became unable to use it and hesitated.
I don't understand. All of a sudden, in that instant, use of that trump card became forbidden. Once we lost that, your victory was guaranteed. The game master, Lady Lambda Delta, probably interfered.
That bastard. So in the end, the whole fight was a farce in the palm of Lambda Delta's hand. She made us play out that entire act according to her script.
I do not like it. However, since you told me to fight with everything I had no choice but to let you know. Please forgive me. Still, even though you lost your trump card, you kept on fighting all out with your remaining cards. I don't believe anyone could find fault with what you did.
That's right. On the contrary, you should be mad at Lambda Delta for butting in.
Kinzo doesn't exist should already be an established fact. Lady Lambda Delta and Lady Burncastle should know this well, and yet they are both leaving room for Kinzo to exist as they continue in this game. It's almost as though the two are conspiring to prevent Kinzo's existence from being denied.
Yeah.
He already has been.
Yeah. In other words, they intentionally let Grandfather escape.
Yes, they must be after something. That is a bit odd. Lady Lambda Delta and Lady Burncastle should always be in opposition unless the witch side is in a superior position. It's hard to imagine that those two are conspiring together at a time like this. I can't help but think that they have some sort of wicked goal. I came here because I wanted you to know that.
So, you came all this way to tell us something like that?
Yes, which means that my business here is finished. I think I will leave now. The game will probably resume shortly. I must aid Erica during the rest of this game. Delanor gulped down the last of her black tea and stood up. Next is the battle of the second twilight. At that point, I will once again raise my merciless longsword. So I ask the same of you, Battler. Show no mercy towards me.
I understand. If I went easy on you, I'd have my own head smashed in.
On the game board, I'm nothing more than Lady Burncastell's piece and Faruto Erica's subordinate. In the future, we will probably stand across from each other as opponents many times. However, my heart is always neutral. No, please forget that. Such has no meaning considering the relationship between the two of us.
It does. There's no doubt you're a fearsome opponent, but you don't piss me off anymore. Though that Erica totally pisses me off.
Good. Faruto Erica also pisses me off. Nobody likes her. Oh no. Delanor's expression finally softened slightly. In the very last moment, it was Badler talking.
At the very last moment, it felt as though we finally understood each other.
Faruto Erica is a very evil entity. She's lost face with her recent defeat and is burning with a desire for revenge. Even I don't know what she is planning. However, it can't be anything good. Please take care.
Just knowing she's Burncastle's piece tells me I can't let my guard down. Dylan nodded, as though satisfied, left the overhang of the arbor and walked out into the rain. She got all soaked.
To think I'd serve as a subordinate to such evil. Why was I called to this world?
Delanor let out a small sigh. Pieces can do nothing except fulfill the function they have been given. And that function is given to them by the one who controls them. She probably can't disobey her own player, Burncastle.
Lady Burncastle may be the one who called you here. However, the one who let you into this world is Beato. If this child didn't wish it, you would never have been able to make it through the garden maze and arrive here. Right, Beato? Miss Beatrice, what is it that you want from me? I do hope that I can help you in some way, though I may be a subordinate of evil.
She spoke to Beato, but of course there was no response. After bowing once more in thanks for the black tea, Delanor disappeared off into the rainy rose garden, never to be seen again. She's gone. So, no one can reach this golden land if Beato doesn't want them to.
Yes, this child is the one who called Delanor here.
Huh. So, Beato called her here so I could meet with her? However, I know of a person who reached this place despite Beato's wishes.
Yeah, I was about to say Anji. Anji
really?
got there and she destroyed it. Remember? That
Oh,
happened
yeah.
in episode
I remember
4.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, she destroyed
She
Beato's
destroyed it. She
golden land.
gave Maria Sakutaro back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Anji. In the last game, Anji reached this place by herself, even though she was an uninvited guest. Was that also something Beato wished for?
Possibly.
Could
Maybe.
be.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I am here. You are here. Beato is here. Delanor was invited here. All of these things happened because this child wanted them to. Even the bit of time you and Delanor spent together drinking tea.
Beato, what was I supposed to learn from her? Does it have something to do with finding your heart and letting you rest in peace? Delanor A. Knox, the natural enemy of witches, an inquisitor of heresy, a vanguard of mystery who denies fantasy. Is she here to help? By gouging out your heart? And choking the life out of you? Weird. Oh, God. Please stand on the one leg. What the fuck?
Cornelia slowly got up and stood on one leg as she had been ordered. Her hands were clasped behind her back, because she had been ordered to do so. Then, with a thump, Erica pushed her from behind with both hands.
That's mean. That's very mean.
Cornelia landed on the floor face first with a thud.
Please stand on one leg.
Cornelia rose shakily. Then, once again, she stood on one leg as she had been ordered. She had been ordered not to hold her ground, so she had fallen on her face over and over again. She had barely managed to protect her nose, but after smashing against the floor so many times, her face was bright red. She wasn't shedding any tears. No, she couldn't shed them, because she was forbidden to do even that.
Please stay on one leg.
Thump. Thud.
Please stay on one leg.
Thump. Thud. Thump. Thud. Thump. Thud. Erica repeated this falling torture over and over again. At times like this, Erica hated counting things, so she decided that once she ran out of fingers to count the number of times, she would just repeat it until she lost interest. However, Erica's main redeeming feature was that she never lost interest in anything, so the torture continued on and on. Erica didn't know why Cornelia had been unable to fully protect the window, so the whole time since then she had placed all the blame of their loss on her.
Please allow me to speak. Forgive Cornelia. She has already repented enough.
Oh, is that true? Then please take her place from now on.
Gertrude has done nothing wrong.
Gertrude, please stand on one leg. Clasp your hands behind you.
Gertrude followed the order and clasped her hands behind her back, standing on one leg.
You mustn't resist or hold your ground. You are not permitted to bend your knees. You are not permitted to shed any tears. Got it?
As you wish. Gertrude.
Erica made a show of walking behind Gertrude. She even enjoyed making her wonder when she'd push. At that time, Gertrude and Cornelia burst with a bright light and disappeared, because Delanor, who must have returned at some point, had sent them back to the heavens for the time being. Erica, who'd had her fun spoiled, gave Delanor an openly malicious look. Miss Erica, I will bear the punishment for all my subordinates' faults as their superior. I ask that you let them go.
No, thank you. Punishment only works because it causes pain. There's nothing interesting about an unfeeling doll girl that I can't leave a single injury on.
Erica slowly grabbed hold of the back of Delanor's hair, tugging unrelentingly. Delanor's neck tilted upwards, creaking. You may not cause a physical injury, but you do injure.
As if you had a heart that could get injured. You slowly witch hunt a murder doll. Are you trying to talk back to me? Me, the envoy and double of the great Lady Brincasto?
No.
I got scored by Lady Brincasto because you guys are useless. Never fail so lamely again. Understand?
The hair she had grabbed was stretched back as far as it would go, along with more creaking. This didn't cause Delanor any physical pain, but she could clearly feel Erica's ill will. My apologies, forgive me.
Filth.
With a sound like a bowstring being cut, several of Delanor's hairs were pulled out. Then Erica waved her hand about as though trying to brush off something dirty that had gotten stuck to it.
Well, that's okay. I'm done. My anger's finally settled down and my little gray cells are tingling again. Please call those two useless people back and reconstruct the crime scene. Let's start the reasoning game.
Understood. Gertrude, Cornelia.
As you wish.
The two of them reappeared behind Delanor and reconstructed the crime scene for Erica, the one who had just been tormenting them.
Kinzer's disappearance was nothing more than a bonus round after the first twilight. Let's start investigating the first twilight itself.
Here we go. We haven't even talked about any of the murders. The murders!
Yay.
Yes, where people died.
Finally. But before we do that, did you realize we were actually given a riddle before the murders even occurred? What?
Yes, the letter with the mark of the one-winged eagle, which appeared at 2400 last night along with a knock by some person.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Did we even read that?
Yeah, they read it. It just said that Beatrice was giving Battler all the golds for solving the epitaph,
right.
Battler was the new head. That was
Yes.
what it said. It said
Yes.
that it was from Beatrice.
Yeah. That's right. The tale creates the illusion that the events of that incident would be imposed for any human. Impossible for any human. Make it seem like an unknown witch exists. Let's start by crushing this illusion of the witch. We'll first check the situation in the dining hall last night when the letter was delivered.
Understood. Gertrude, Cornelia, reconstruct last night's family conference in the dining hall.
As you wish.
The family conference last night was held with the adult relatives and Battler. And partway through, the servants had arrived to serve tea.
Let's check everyone's location at the instant the letter arrived. How did that go again?
Please allow me to speak. Before the family conference, Erica, George, Jessica, Maria, Najo, Goda, and Kumasawa left the mansion and moved to the guest house. Please allow me to speak. Of those who remained, only Kroos, Natsu, and Genji were in the second floor corridor, while all others were in the dining hall.
Because the family conference was proceeding and the mansion was completely locked, all other humans were unable to enter the mansion.
Aha! That'd mean there was no one inside the mansion who could have knocked and placed a letter there, right? Hehehehe.
Yes, the witch side will probably claim that the one who did this was the witch who wrote the letter, Beatrice.
Ridiculous. A stupid trick. There's no guarantee that the letter was placed there at exactly 2400. It's only sensible to consider that it might have been placed there earlier.
Just a few minutes before the letter was discovered, Shannon and Cannon came in to serve tea. When they entered, multiple witnesses confirmed that there was nothing suspicious like a letter in the hallway.
Maybe one of those not in the parlor, Kroos, Natsu, and Genji, simply saw their chance right after that and placed the letter there. No, wait, it should be possible for the people who supposedly went to the guest house too. We heard that the mansion was locked and no one outside could get in, but if someone pretended to have gone to the guest house and instead hid in the mansion, it would have been perfectly possible for them to place the letter there.
Allow me to speak. Blue Truth, valid.
In that case, the problem is the knock. Unlike the letter, someone would have to exist there at the instant of the knock.
I see, so this is the so-called proof that a person who shouldn't be there, a witch, existed. This is just so ridiculous. Did they think Fruit or Erica would swear to something like that? First off, we can doubt whether the knock was even something hid at the door to the dining hall at all. For example, there may be a certain pillar on the second floor, which, because of how the mansion is constructed, makes a noise when struck that gets transmitted down the pillar, and that sounds like just like a knock on the door to people in the dining hall. Or they could have misheard some random sound to be a knock. Oh shit, give me a second. My battery power, no, dude.
Oh yeah, plug your phone laptop in.
Alright, everything's good. Or they could have misheard some random sound to be a knock. And all.
Yeah, my laptop's always plugged in the whole time when we're recording.
Yeah, I just forgot to do it. And they all misconstrued it in the same way. Or the recorded sound of a knock could have been stealthily replayed from a tape, which might have been carefully set up to go off at exactly that time.
That's a long blue truth.
Yeah. Either way, I can think of many ways to make them hear a knock, even if no one was on the other side of the door. How is that, my master? How is my reasoning?
That's what she said. No laugh?
What?
No laugh?
No laugh.
No laugh. Why didn't you laugh?
What?
No, that's what she said.
Oh.
It's a good joke.
I don't fucking get it. What? I think you might have cut out.
No, I didn't cut out.
No,
I
you
was
just-
waiting for you to laugh.
To what?
Well, that's what she said.
What?
Oh, okay.
I'm
I'll
super
I'll
confused.
just keep reading then. Well, have you ever never heard of that joke? That's what she said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then Berncastle says, "Oh, that's what she says." So I was waiting for you to laugh, and you didn't laugh. But okay, it's been going on for a little too long. Okay. That's what she says. So what do you think?
Well, it looks like your cute piece gave it her all thinking up these blue truths, so I guess I'll be nice and give out a few reds. I guess I'll start with the letter. We have both the knock made when the bell of the large clock rang out 2400 and the letter sitting there in an envelope bearing the one-winged eagle crest when the door was opened. It's so obvious to suspect that the people who weren't in the parlor secretly placed the letter there, right? Kraus, Natsuri, and Genji did not even touch that letter.
That's in red.
Damn. Alright.
So,
Crows,
yeah,
Natsui,
'cause
and
that-
Genji.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because those were the three people I was thinking might have done it.
Yeah, so it had to be someone that is outside, even though the door's locked.
Oh-ho. Then, when Shannon and Cannon came in to serve tea, who was the last human to enter the dining hall? Let's say it was Cannon. Wouldn't it be easy if Cannon, the last person in, secretly dropped the letter there when he closed the door?
Not a single person in the dining hall. No, there's a simpler way to say it. Among all those inside the mansion at 2400 hours, not a single person placed that letter in the corridor.
So you can't say that no one touched it.
Obviously, they touched it when they picked it up. Of course, I couldn't say that none of them touched it.
Yeah.
I see. Then let's interpret it this way. Someone who existed outside of the mansion at 2400 hours placed a letter somewhere other than the hallway beforehand. Then it was moved by some means and ended up placed in the hallway.
Just an example, let's say it was stuck to the bottom of a serving cart the servants were pushing. It was simply glued there in a way that would make it come unstuck after a certain amount of time. When it eventually fell off, it became the letter left behind by a witch who shouldn't have existed. In other words, this is a classic trick where the true sender gives themselves an alibi by making the letter appear at a different time.
Allow me to speak. Blue truth valid.
In other words, the fact that it landed just outside the dining hall door was just the culprit's good luck. At worst, it might have happened in the kitchen, the corridor, or even inside the dining hall. Oh, good. If it had happened inside the dining hall, that would have been even more wonderful. Within everyone's sight, a letter would suddenly appear on the floor, and that wouldn't even violate a red truth saying no one in the closed room of the dining hall touched the letter unexpectedly.
Well done. If the letter was stuck to the bottom of the serving cart, then anyone could be the culprit. That might work okay regarding the letter. However, will that same type of argument apply to the knock as well? Let's try this again, shall we?
Please, go ahead.
Neither Kraus nor Natsuri nor Genji knocked. This isn't the limited meaning of them knocking on the door, okay? It means they didn't use a pillar to transmit the sound or push the play button on a cassette tape they'd recorded or create that knock sound by any means. Of course, this applies to direct, indirect, intentional, coincidental, and unintentional means.
This wedge has already been knocked in, but I'll repeat it. Maybe someone other than Kraus, Natsui, or Genji made that knock, or else a sound that could be misidentified as a knock.
Please allow me to speak. Let it be known that at 2400 is accepting Kraus, Natsui, and Genji in the second floor corner, and all the people in the dining hall, no humans existed inside the mansion.
Whoa.
Please.
Wait, what? No
It
human.
said that other than Kraus, Genji, and Natsui, and all the people who were in the dining hall,
Oh.
no humans in the mansion
Yeah.
existed
Yeah.
Please allow
when
me
the
to
knock happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Kraus.
Wasn't Kraus, wasn't Natsui, wasn't Genji, and nobody in the family conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please allow me to speak. Let it be known that in addition to Kraus, Natsui, and Genji, none of those in the dining hall knocked on that door. In this sense, knock includes all direct, indirect, intentional, unintentional, and coincidental events that could create a knocking sound.
A direct knock refers to someone literally hitting a door to make a knocking sound. An intentional knock refers to someone creating a fake knocking sound to try and make it appear that someone knocked. An unintentional knock refers to someone unintentionally creating a fake knocking sound. A coincidental knock refers to some kind of coincidence creating a fake knocking sound.
Damn, Malcolm's been busy.
What?
Malcolm's been busy. Nah.
Malcolm. Oh. No, Malcolm was just knocking on the door. It was Malcolm. He was the one knocking on the door.
That is Malcolm. No, he just likes knocking.
He wasn't in the guest house. He was out here with us. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, he wasn't in the mansion. No one in the guest house did it. But he wasn't anywhere in the game.
No.
So it makes sense that it was just Malcolm knocking at the door. Silly guy.
In short, this means it was impossible for any character within the mansion to be the source of a knocking sound. And any character refers even to unobserved people that no one has noticed.
What?
Anyone in the mansion will also include any unknown person X who had snuck into the mansion. Therefore, it literally meant it was impossible for anyone inside the mansion to knock with no wordplay allowed.
Wait. What? Nobody knocked.
It was impossible.
What the fuck?
Let's see Furuto Erika's reasoning.
Yeah, I see. No matter how much I toy with it, it's impossible for anyone except those in the guest house group to create the knocking sound, right? Like me, for example. What if I, Fruit Erica, recorded a knocking sound on a cassette tape and used some kind of secret contraption to start playing it at exactly 2400? Of course, I wasn't in the mansion at 2400. There aren't any problems with this, are there?
No problems, however, though the knock did serve as a way of informing them about the letter on the other side of the door. I do not think it would have worked if the letter had fallen elsewhere.
Yeah. If the trick in Erica's theory about the letter being stuck to the serving cart was accurate, then the location that the letter fell was a matter of luck. Because it had fortunately fallen near the door, the people in the dining hall noticed it due to the knock. However, if the location it fell was a matter of chance, it might have landed in the far-off kitchen and remained stuck even after they entered. If that had happened, the knock would have been ignored as though they just imagined it. In other words, the knock by itself wouldn't transmit any message at all. It only made it appear as though someone had been there because it was paired with the letter. In that case, the random location the letter fell to off the bottom of the serving cart couldn't be connected with the knock. For the letter to be found thanks to the knock, it would have to be reliably positioned on the other side of the door. However, it was announced in red that no one in the mansion placed the letter in the hallway.
I'll reword that read about placing it in the corridor a bit. No one in the mansion placed the letter in the hallway. This includes doing so by all concepts such as directly, indirectly, intentionally, coincidentally, and unintentionally. For example, let's assume there was a device on the serving cart that drops the letter when it stops moving. In this case, you'd think they could predict that the cart would probably stop just once those two knocked on the door to the dining hall, and by doing so, they'd be cleverly making it so the letter drops right in front of the door. But even this doesn't work, okay? The action of stopping the serving cart would indirectly lead to placing the letter in the hallway. That would mean Shannon and Cannon, who are pushing the cart, had indirectly and unintentionally placed the letter there, so even this is no good. Furthermore, setting it up so that the letter peeled off with a passage of time would mean that the people pushing the serving cart had coincidentally and unintentionally placed the letter there. Of course, this is also no good.
Repeat it. At 2400 hours, only Erica, George, Jessica, Maria, Nanjo, Goda, and Kumasawa existed outside the mansion. What if someone in the dining hall didn't exist in the mansion right at 2400? For example, what if they'd slipped out a window just before? With this wordplay, it might be possible to get around the red truth.
Repeat it? Even though I'm nice enough to give you all this red for free, aren't you being a bit greedy? I'm not an idiot like Beato, so I won't go around saying everything my opponent tells me to repeat.
I'll give you a full body massage and a bath with marshmallows and competo sometime soon. Enough to rub your skin off.
Haha, now you've got to keep that promise, Slurp. Okay then, here's a freebie. I'll respond. At 2400 hours, only Erica, George, Jessica, Maria, Nanjo, Goda, and Kumasawa existed outside the mansion.
In other words, no matter how much they struggled, those 8 people, including Erica, could not have existed inside the mansion, much less in front of the door. And at the same time, no matter how much they struggled, those inside the mansion could not have existed outside of the mansion.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah, this knock and the letter is really, whoa, it's like they haven't even talked about the murders at all.
Yeah, what the fuck? In that case, the letter might have been stuck to the ceiling of the hallway instead of the serving cart. Out in the open, maybe no one would notice it. This way, it would certainly fall in the corridor, and you could slip by the red if someone outside the mansion did this. Good job, me.
Please allow me to speak. The letter never existed on the ceiling of the hallway. Please allow me to speak. I know that the letter never touched the serving cart.
Who cares about that? Anyway, some human outside the mansion used some kind of trick to place the letter there. If you try to use that letter and then knock to argue that Beatrice exists, it definitely won't work on Fruit or Erica.
Please allow me to speak. It was impossible for anyone outside the mansion to influence anything inside the mansion after the family conference began.
Then someone... What?
Oh, who did it, Ben?
What? Yeah, what the fuck? No one outside the mansion... No one inside the mansion... No one.
No one. No one on the island did it. No one put the letter there.
What the fuck? Wait.
I guess it just appeared there. It's magic. Right?
No. Did someone outside the mansion set up some kind of device before the family conference? Something other than the ceiling or the serving cart.
Allow me to speak. Blue truth invalid.
Why? That's the only way, right? Someone outside the mansion used some kind of device other than the ceiling or the serving cart.
Allow me to speak. Unless you can specify or theorize as to what that something might be, your blue truth will not be acknowledged. Allow me to speak. All of Lady Erica's blue truths regarding the letter have been lost.
What? They've all been lost, you say? Watch your tongues, a bit more useless furniture. If I can think of that device, it's an instant checkmate. What do you mean, all of them? What do you mean my blue truth is invalid? How dare you say such things to me? The detective. Fruit Erica. Gosh, she's such a baby.
Erica's face twisted. These words that seemed to deny Erica. No, Erica's reasoning were the worst form of torture and humiliation for her.
Miss Erica, why don't we postpone the riddle of the letter for now? Your blue stake about someone outside the mansion playing it with a cassette tape is still valid. If it was possible for sound, then perhaps it wasn't impossible for a letter as well.
As Erica made to grab and pull Gertrude's hair, Delanor stopped her with those words.
That's right, my blue truth regarding the knock is still valid. It's not true that everything's been denied. My master, I will solve the riddle of the letter without fail. Please allow me to postpone that for now. However, I will definitely figure out the riddle of the knock today. Here, I've hit you with the blue stake that someone in some mansion set things up with a cassette tape or something to make a knock sound play.
You really are a cute kid, piece of Burns. Lots of spunk. Anyway, Erica's yelling that you forgive her because she solved one of the 2 riddles even though she resigned on the other. So will you forgive her?
Sure. Normally, I'd never forgive my own piece for the shame of surrendering, but if you've managed to solve one of the riddles, I guess I'll let it slide for now. Burn is controlling Erica, though.
Yeah. So, what the fuck? But my master.
When Burn Castell said she'd let it slide, Erica couldn't hide her relief.
Then it's time to get punished, Erica. None of the characters misidentified a knocking sound.
So it was a real knock.
Yeah. Huh. What
Oh.
the fuck?
What's that supposed to mean?
Misidentifying a knocking sound means this. They will not mistake a sound very similar to a knocking sound for a real knocking sound. Hitting a pillar to make something similar to a knocking sound is no good. When you record a knocking sound on a cassette tape and play it back, it becomes the sound of the tape with a knocking sound on it and not a knocking sound, so that's no good either. In other words, every one of them would correctly recognize a knocking sound of something truly hitting the door, and they definitely wouldn't mishear it. It's totally impossible that any sounds except hitting that door directly would be misinterpreted as a knock.
What the? But that means all the time the bell sounded 2400 went off. No one existed who could have hit the door.
Yep, they don't exist. After all, the Golden Witch Beatrice hit it.
So in other words, there's no way to make it work unless you actually hit the door. So what about this? There was some kind of device that could knock on the door. There was something like an automatic door knocker, and that made it possible to knock without touching the door with your hands. Well, don't you think Cannon and Shannon would have seen it? Or when they opened the door, they would have seen some sort of automatic door knocker there?
But maybe they're in on it, and they're like, oh, cool, door knocker, that's fucking...
Well, yeah, that would mean that everybody there would have to be in on it, because...
yeah, I
the
guess
door
they would
knocker,
see it too.
When it knocks... Like, they went and opened the door afterwards to pick up the letter.
Yeah.
Like, right after the door was knocking.
To knock means someone hitting a door with their hand, right?
Okay, so it's their hand. It's a hand is
so we're
hitting
using
the
semantics
door.
now.
I won't accept hitting it with some device. They heard a knock at the same time as the 2400 bell. At that time, everyone inside the dining hall definitely heard it. And none of them misinterpreted a knocking sound. Kraus, Natsuri, and Genji were not involved with the making of a knocking sound. No one else existed inside the mansion, and knock refers to the action of standing directly in front of a door and hitting it with a hand. Hey, Burn. What do you think of my red? Don't you think this is pretty simple and enjoyable despite being before the first Twilight? The Golden Witch made a graceful appearance with a knocking sound.
Interesting. This really is riveting, Lambda. Wouldn't have it any other way. Yes, how amusing. The 2 witches doubled over laughing as though this was the most fun thing in the world.
My master, don't worry. If you just give me a little grace cell some time, I will definitely reach an answer to this pitiful red.
You're nothing but a lowly piece. Your absence wouldn't hinder my progress in this game in the slightest. If you can't think of any theories in particular, please just go back to the peace tray and gather dust or something. Useless pieces are painful even to remember.
After all, Burn's pretty forgetful. If you don't try a little harder, Burn's gonna forget you, okay? You'll collect dust in that forgotten peace tray awaiting your turn that'll never come. I imagine that'd be pretty harsh, don't you think?
Don't worry, Lady Lambda Delta and my master. I promise that I'll keep you entertained and never let you down again.
Oh, how reassuring. I guess you're my double after all. then make sure you really are giving it your all in more ways than one. If you don't make an impact, I might forget all about you. As the two witches giggled, they continued discussing the letter and the knock. There was no room for Erica to step in. If she contented herself with that, she would literally have no place to go, and would be buried in an eternal oblivion. Erica endured this with a hideous expression, looking with shame at the back of the master who ignored her, and with both fists clenched, she thought frantically in search of some kind of breakthrough.
I am the detective. I am Fruto Erica. I'm the peace and double and servant of the great Lady Bruncaster. I'll definitely make her satisfied. Satisfied. Definitely. How dare you humiliate me so?
As she stood there, ignored by the witches and shrouded in darkness, it looked like someone had told her to go stand all alone in the hallway. With a climb in the early morning, this is Badler.
With the crime in the early morning, we'd completely forgotten about breakfast. So we now had our first meal of the day at a time that could never be called breakfast time. Even Goda's wonderful meal, which had supposedly been in the works since yesterday, provided no comfort. The several empty seats quietly burdened us with a pain-filled sadness. Then, in the middle of this meal, it felt like a vigil. Erica suddenly stood up. Everyone focused on her to see what was the matter. Her expression was somewhere between relief and insanity, as though she'd made some groundbreaking and strange recovery. Hey, what's up? Are you okay? I've got it. Did you think I wouldn't understand? Yes, I've got it. There's no way something that stupid could happen.
With a hideous expression covered in cold sweat, Erica glared and lashed out at Batwa.
What do you get? There's no way you jumped down from the third floor study. Not one of us saw you fall down and land in the courtyard. What? When you set up the ladder from the courtyard and saw Rudolph go up to the third-story window, you closely observed the construction of the outer wall and realized that by cleverly using a rain gutter, it might be possible to go down to the courtyard from the third-floor window. You didn't jump down, you used a rain gutter or something and clumsily wiggled down the outer wall. What do you think?
That doesn't deny Kinzo's existence.
No. What do you think of my blue truth? Come on, what's your counter-argument? She's just saying he didn't jump down.
Yeah, but he could have still climbed down the pipe.
Yeah. It's like, there's no point in her argument. My counter-argument? You don't have a counter-argument? Then my truth is valid, right? Hey, did you see that? Trying to look cool and making it look like you jumped down was on an illusion. You just jumped out and latched onto a rain gutter. Well, my argument then was about whether it was possible for Grandfather to escape from the study, right? And it was possible for Grandfather to escape through the window. All I did was prove that. Whether I jumped down or crawled down, that doesn't change anything, does it? Don't try to change the subject. I mean, a human can't jump down from the third floor. Did you see that? What do you think of my reasoning, my master? Are you tired or something? Just calm down and eat some food. Yeah, she's fucking insane.
When he escaped to the courtyard through the window, Batwa really did use the rain gutter to crawl down the wall, just like Erica said.
Oh.
His hand had slipped halfway and he had fallen from a considerable height, but he had managed to land on his feet. No one had witnessed this, but most likely everyone in the dining hall now, except Erica, had realized that something like this had happened. Stupid Erica. Since the very beginning, no one had believed that he jumped down from the third floor window, even if they hadn't witnessed that directly. So they had no clue what Erica was complaining about all of a sudden, and started to whisper, staring at her with cold eyes and dubious faces.
You can't counter that, can you? You jumping down has already been denied. My truth has won. My blue truth is valid. What the fuck is she talking about?
Good job, Erica.
Master, please acknowledge this. I'm not incompetent or disappointment. I will match up to you in your expectations without fail, so please don't abandon me, my master.
Facing someone that might have been somewhere beyond the ceiling, Erica spread her arms and yelled.
Whoa.
Then, as if in answer, a massive lightning bolt landed very close by. It was an incredible sound. They could even feel the earth shake.
Damn.
At the same time as that sound, Erica went limp and fell into her seat, like a puppet who just had all its strings cut. Then, as the sound of wind and rain slowly filled the room once again, Erica slowly opened her eyes as though recovering from a bout of dizziness. Then she continued eating in silence as though nothing had happened, as if she had been acting normally the whole time. Didn't Erica just stand up suddenly and yell something strange at someone? Automatically, enough to make one doubt their eyes, Erica continued eating quietly as though everything was perfectly normal. When they saw how ordinary she looked, everyone convinced themselves that they were totally worn out, and that they must have just seen some illusion of Erica suddenly yelling.
What?
So Erica's sudden transfiguration of a few seconds ago was tweeted as a daydream, and faded out of everyone's memories. Erica quietly poked at her salad and muttered in a voice no one could hear.
Thank you very much, the great lady Burncastle. I am Furuto Erica. I am a master's piece and her double. I will most certainly present you with an incredible tale. That's right, when it comes to utensils, knives, and forks, I'm pretty primitive. Chopsticks are the best. Don't you think chopsticks are the easiest way to eat salad? What? Well, everyone? I think she's crazy.
Chopsticks are the best way to eat salad.
What the fuck?
So yeah, there was a lot of stuff in that one. I completely forgot about this whole mystery with the knock and the letter, but I think I figured it out. I think I know what happened.
Yeah, don't they say what happened, pretty much?
What?
They say what happened at the end, don't they?
No, they didn't. What happened then?
No, not at this end, but like at the end of the entire thing. Because don't they solve all the mysteries?
Yeah, but I forgot about it.
Oh,
so I just had to piece it together in my head.
Right.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure I know how that letter, the whole mystery of the letter and the knock.
Well, I don't. I have no idea.
Well, figuring it out would really help you figure out a lot of other stuff.
Oh, yeah, because then you could be like, hey. Because it's some sort of, probably some sort of trick, and it's like, hey. Like, this trick has probably been used countless other times as well.
Yes. Yes. Quite a few other times.
Yeah.
And you figured out a couple of the other times, and well, the game's told you a few of them, but I'm not going to tell you which ones, because that would be too much. But yeah, there's a few times that this trick has been used that you already know about.
Alright, drawing a blank.
Oh well.
Alright. Well, that's this episode of Umineko of the Answers Arcs. So yeah, it seems like Erica's going a little bit crazy.
Well, yeah, she wants to win and she keeps losing.
Yeah, that sucks.
She was supposed to be the detective.
Supposed to, but nope. Tyler's a better detective than her now.
Yeah. Well, she's still doing some stuff better than Battler ever did.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like Battler's a lot more like level-headed than her.
I don't know, Battler said some pretty crazy stuff. Like, remember when he was theorizing about the Halloween party from episode 2 where everyone had their stomachs pulled out onto the table, and he said that, they ate small bombs and then the bombs exploded in their stomachs?
Dude, man, that one's pretty believable, honestly. This bomb is delicious.
No. Well, I guess that's the end of this one.
Yep. Well,
See everybody later.
goodbye.